Some families have been struggling to afford their children to further studies in colleges and university with the hope that their child can find an ideal job after graduation to make the family life easier. However, not everything goes so smoothly. Have you ever suffered from the fear of unemployment? Do you know how it feels like graduates are denied livelihood opportunities and struggle to find gainful employment? In this post-independence era, graduate unemployment has become a distressing issue which not new at home and abroad. In Malaysia in 2015, involving over half of 132,900 graduates remained unemployed after graduation, while 9.7% were still awaiting job placement. According to the latest report from the Department of Statistics Malaysia, the number of unemployed graduates was recorded 165,200 in 2019 and hit an increase of 22.5% to 202,400 in 2020. Putting the statistic together, it clearly demonstrates that the rate is in an upward mode rather than diminishing. Good day and greetings to Miss Alia and fellow listeners. Today, I would like to share about 3 good factors that the high unemployment rate among graduates should be addressed. Without further ado, let's move on to the first reason. The first good reason is the declined living standards. Being jobless implies that the graduates are left to encounter financial problems. After graduation, graduates are no longer having educational loan assistance with low interest rate, such as PTPTN, which is offered by the government institution in helping part of their living costs while furthering their studies. The graduates are expected to be breadwinners in some family settings, where they are obligated and accountable for earning money to enhance the standards of living. Unemployment causes graduates to be unable to cover the high cost of living for themselves or even their families. At the same time, it has weakened their purchasing power in terms of having insufficient money to adequate enough food and clothing as a means to fulfill their needs and demands. As a consequence, it is crystal clear to show a struggle to meet needs and indirectly implies a decline in living standards. The graduates will struggle to incur expenses to ensure their health. When overhead is limited, our requirements are reduced as well. The financial hardships can push them to suffer nutritional deficiencies due to chronic shortages of nutritious food supplies. In this manner, it will undoubtedly impair their immune system, rendering them susceptible to illness. However, they are not having enough money to finance their medical expenses in case of strengthening their health level. As an example, not mentioning health insurance, but they will also opt to skip the treatments if they suffer from critical illness. On top of that, the conditions become worse and even lead to death in the long run. Is this the result we want? It must be a no for all of us. Thus, in order to reduce the frequency and the volume of poor living level, the unemployed graduates should be secured with a job. That is the first strong reason, the decline of living standards. Now, the second reason of addressing unemployment of graduates is stress and emotional instability. Graduates without jobs find themselves overwhelmed and lost without goals and objectives. Here's an example. A King's College London unemployed graduate said, "Not having a structure and a sense of stability really messed with my head, and I was already struggling with depression. Graduation means to live from a sheltered educational life after earning a degree and will process to seek for a meaningful profession. Obtaining a job is one of the crucial decisions as of living as an adult, and it may affect their major life in the future. Yet, the worklessness occurs among them has certainly disrupted their targets and plans, where they can exercise no choice to muddle along day by day with no clear plans. They will begin to believe that they are unimportant and that there is nothing worthwhile for them to accomplish. That's how contributes to a sense of dissatisfaction among them, and even doubting whether their existence is meaningful in a world of material concerns. Sooner or later, they will flounder in maintaining their mental stability. Besides, the feeling of helplessness in the face of anxiety. Unemployment among graduates will undeniably have psychological consequences, such as a lack of dignity and low self-esteem. This is in light of the fact that the most graduates will be compared to and undervalued by those who around them if they fail to get a job after graduation. It can also lead to negative thinking, such as feelings of humiliation and a lack of self-belief. Owing to their insecurity, they will refuse to associate or connect with others as they feel shameful to voice their emotions. The inability to adjust and cope with the overwhelmed negative thinking might expose them to significant mental illness. As such, high rates of graduate unemployment must be addressed. Declining living standards, stress, and emotional instability. Now, the third cause of unemployment of graduates must be addressed, that is, the increase in social problems or criminal cases. Earning money by illegal and improper means. According to one study, unemployment could lead to criminal activities as they are out of work and have lost their support for a living. The graduates who are unemployed are the people who are deprived of property and have no monetary worth in society. When a person is unable to finance his life due to a lack of income as a result of unemployment, committing crimes will be assumed as a solution or an easy method for him to generate money. Thus, makes them exhibit disobedience and negative social vices that drive them into crime. For instance, they will commit the antisocial behaviors such as female prostitution and meal robbery or kidnapping. Nevertheless, it is against human morality and law to earn money by illegal and improper means. Notably that the so-called crime is crime, which is illegal and always. With no doubt, this manifests the needs of urgent action to lower the high rates of unemployment. Declining living standards, stress and emotional instability, and lastly, an increase of social problems or criminal cases. Those are the reasons of why the high rates of unemployment among graduates should be addressed. Now that I have covered those main points, regard to the high cost of education and training of universities, in which most amount is borne by the government, it is also necessary to consider the time taken to obtain a degree is as long as 3 to 4 years. Additionally, they possess knowledge in a certain field of study and are ready to translate into practice as well as contribute to the development of the nation. To be honest, unemployment among them is a waste of resources to the country. Hubert H. Humphrey once said, "There is no such thing as an acceptable level of unemployment. Because hunger is not acceptable, poverty is not acceptable, poor health is not acceptable, and a ruined life is not acceptable." I will end by saying that without any doubt, a deep sense of vigilance should be raised among people from all walks of life, while including the unemployed graduates themselves, to play roles in addressing the high rise of graduate unemployment. That's all from me. Thank you.